olwaleero mbadde nzija ssebo w'ekitiibwa Katikkiro ne ndaba ku X nga waliwo omutemu gwe balese mu kkooti y'abantu naye bamulese bamuwembejja, bamulese bamukuumye, bamulese nga balinga abaleeta zaabu. Naye abantu abatalina musango abaakwatibwa olw'ebyobufuzi bali mu makomera bavunda.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Welcome to Mordecai Murisa Live.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
I cannot appreciate you enough for using your valuable time to always go on social media, break down things for people.
And yes, indeed, broadcasting to you from these United States of the America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might catch this conversation. My name is Mordecai Murisa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Murisa Live. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about this. And I want this commentary to be in English for a specific reason. I want to reach the international community. People who are following this funny, I don't want to call it funny, but performative court process in Uganda. Now, you might be wondering, hey, Mordecai, what are you talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Uganda convened a public hearing of Christopher Okello Onyum, the man accused of murdering 4 children at Gaba Early Childhood Development Center. Okello pleaded not guilty on these charges. The outcome of this, with him pleading not guilty, he really frustrated a number of people. There was a reaction of anger. The emotions were extremely high, with many people actually asking for him to be unalived. However, beyond the courtroom proceedings and what we saw, the public outrage I've just told you about, many Ugandans on social media began to notice a calculated move by the Museveni criminal regime. Shouldn't come as a surprise. It is a criminal regime. They're going to do all things illegal, immoral, and unethical. Now, in a country where citizens' rights are routinely violated, where justice is often delayed and outrightly denied, where many individuals remain in prison, they remain in prison 4 years on trapped-up charges. Questions were now starting to be raised. The questions were about the speed and the visibility of this particular case. Why this particular case? I want to show you how NTV opens this story. Look at how many people were deployed. Listen here.
Wetutuukidde Gaba okumpi n'ekisaawe ky'ekkanisa ya Gaba Community Church ng'abasirikale aba buli kika bayiiriddwa dda okukakasa ng'ebyokwerinda binywezebwa.
This is all performance. How many people are going to be deployed here? Let's go.
Abakuumaddembe bano wandigamba nti bajjiddwa kyenkana mu buli kitongole kya byakwerinda anti oba okyatenda obungi bw'abali mu byambalo ebya kiragala ate ekibinja ekirala ne kikuva ku kkono nga kiri mu byambalo biddugavu. Kyokka newankubadde
look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You have I can guarantee you, they deployed probably over 500 security officers from different security agencies. All for what? And the Ugandan people, some like me, I'll talk for myself, I started asking questions. Why such urgency? And why is it given all this audience? Because they are trying to perform. The answer to me is very straightforward. Like I said, the regime is taking this time to get on stage and perform legal process. because they know this tragedy drew international headlines and global scrutiny. I mean, I think it was CNN. I will show you here. Was it CNN? Absolutely. Look, this was CNN. Just a few minutes after this incident happened, they said, machete-wielding man attacks Ugandan nursery school, killing 4 children. And then you have BBC, Al Jazeera, and everywhere they were reporting about this incident. So it drew public attention and global scrutiny, or international attention and global scrutiny. So what the Museveni criminal regime is doing right now is seizing an opportunity to project an image of efficiency and fairness in Uganda's justice system. It is all a facade. It is a calculated facade, a crafted facade that meant to reassure the outside world that, hey, see us. We hold our public, our hearings in public. When this incident happened, see, look at the swiftness, look at the efficiency of how, look at the speed we are doing this. Do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching me from Kenya, if you're watching me from Tanzania, Zambia, Malawi, Sierra Leone, and the rest of other countries in Africa and across the world, this is all for performance. Ugandans, just like myself, we have pointed out to that troubling contrast on how detainees are usually treated. In recent memory, we have seen the likes of Eddy Mutwe, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, Bobi Wine's bodyguard. He was brought to court, limping. He couldn't even stand still after he had been tortured on the orders of Ggaba, who happens to be Museveni's son and the commander of our defense forces. I'll show you here. Don't take my word for it. Like I said, many Ugandans are noticing. Look here. Somebody posted and said, Okello in court for killing minors, calm, comfortable, and seated. Frame 2, that's frame 1. Then frame 2, Eddy Mutwe in court for not supporting NRM, brutalized, struggling to even stand. Wow, justice is truly working. One walks in with dignity. The other arrives already punished. Same court, same country, different standards. This is how true justice looks like, right? Thank you, our judiciary, for the clarity. Look at this man. He's accused of killing 4 babies, 4 little kids, 4 in broad daylight. 90%, if you went by public opinion, 90% of them, do an opinion poll, 90% of the Ugandan people are demanding for this man to be. You know that, and I'm not demanding for that. I mean, I'm one who respects the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. I'm not part and parcel of the Museveni criminal regime who found you guilty before you do. Actually, the fact that I support the Bobi Wine movement, the fact that I oppose the Museveni regime, I am guilty of terrorism, actions of rebelling against my country. Name it. They come up with all these funny trumped up charges. Oh, I have guns. Possession of ammunitions. But look at how that man who killed 4, and then this man did not commit any crime. His only crime was supporting Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, famously known as Bobi Wine, being a friend to Bobi Wine. And the state went on to be like, oh, he's part of the people that stole a phone. A phone. It's not funny, but you laugh at the absurdity because we don't want to cry. Okay? A phone, they said he stole a phone of 40,000 shillings, which is something like $10. He didn't steal it, but that's what he's being accused. And before he was brought to court, the son of the president had already found him guilty and already sentenced him. Oh my God. Decided a punishment for him. Ordered him to be tortured in his basement. After torturing him, he posted a picture of him on social media, gloating in it, saying, see me, I have tortured this man. Whereas this one, this is how he's being treated. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not asking for this man to be tortured. I'm not asking for this man to be taken to the basement. Absolutely not. Look, I am a little biased, editor. Maybe I am very biased. I am not a judge. I haven't gone to school to study law. So I'll leave for the folks who are professionals in that field to decide. But let's go back to to what the citizens are saying. They were able to show that, okay, there's a little bit of double standards here. Many, who am I going to mention and leave out? The likes of Yasin Sechitoleko, famously known as Machete, who has been in prison for more than 5 years. On what charges? Supporting Bobi Wine. Muhammad Segirinya, former member of parliament for Kawempe North, who was tortured. He was brought to court. What is his crime? Supporting Bobi Wine. But when it came to this man, I'll show you here. Let me show you something here. Sorry, I should have prepared better. Okay. All right. Wait a second. This is how he looked at first when he was arrested. The first time he was brought to court. That's how he looked. See? Probably this is when he had been saved from the public that were resorting to mob justice. You see? That's the jacket he was wearing. It's all dirty. He looked very, very, very guilty in the eyes. Now, I want to show you how he looked when he was... This is how he looked when he was brought to court. They washed his jacket. They provided him with drinking water. He's being taken care of. He deserves that. A prisoner doesn't lose all his rights or their rights. They don't lose their rights. So it's very easy for you to think, hey, Mordecai, did you want him tortured? Did you want him killed? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is the efficiency we see, the care is being given, should be given to other prisoners. They do not become deserving of disrespect and torture because they support Bobi Wine. I mean, we are in a sick country. If we went by conventional wisdom of people saying, kill him and stuff like that, if we went by conventional wisdom, oh, let's kill him and blah, blah, blah. Don't you think this man would be deserving? And that's not, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to repeat myself. I'm not calling for the killing of this man. No. But I'm saying by going by conventional wisdom, isn't this man deserving of that punishment than folks who have been killed, disappeared, and murdered by the Museveni criminal regime for one crime, supporting Bobi Wine? Okay. What else did I want to show you here? I think I should be very, very, very clear here. I am 100% demanding for the families of the murdered children to be given justice. They deserve justice. They deserve the justice that is swift, that justice that is transparent, the justice that is uncompromised. I said this earlier. They deserve all that. Their loss demands accountability. But what we are seeing right now, it is more of performance and symbolism. I don't think they want that. No. Nobody says, okay, please perform for me. How are you going to do this? How are you going to hold this man accountable? No, nobody. But the regime is choosing, oh, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to show the world. So I, and you should as well, you should refuse to be swayed by these political theatrics. This is political theater, 100%. You have to insist on demanding justice, not only to be done, but it must be done and it must be seen being done consistently, not selectively, where we see, oh, Eddy Mutwe is going to be tortured, killed, all these stuff done to him. But when we see a man who is accused of murdering 4 people, no, he's going to be treated like a VVIP. So this, what we see, probably should be given to all citizens who end up in prisons. And it should be this justice, let's say the performance. Maybe you might be a fan of the performance saying, Mordecai, I think this is what we need in Uganda. Okay. Then it should be done all the time. Not only when the world is watching, when international media is looking at Uganda, be like, okay, let's perform for you. That's not a country. I think it was a member of parliament, what's her name? Helen Nachimuli, who said this.
Ebigenda maaso mu ggwanga tetugenda kugaana kubyogerako ku lunaku luno olukulu. Olwaleero mbadde nzija ssebo w'ekitiibwa Katikkiro. Ne ndaba ku X nga waliwo omutemu gwe balese mu kkooti y'abantu. Ne bamulese bamuwembejja. Bamulese bamukuumye. Bamulese nga balinga abaleeta zaabu. Naye abantu abatalina musango abaakwatibwa olw'ebyobufuzi bali mu makomera bavunda.
Thank you, Honorable.
Tebaweereddwa mukisa kuyimirirwa oba kweyimirirwa. Tebaweereddwa mukisa kuwulizibwa. Bali mu kkomera emyaka 5. Wabula oli bamuleetanga abaleeta. It is really ashaming.
Yep.
Eggwanga lyaffe tetulikkiriza kugenda eyo gye tutaagala ligende.
JDD, I'm sorry to announce, to be the bearer of the bad news, I apologize. We are where? You know, usually people say, like, oh, these actions might turn Uganda into dictatorship. Hello, are you waking up from a long sleep? We've been in the dictatorship for years. Jetuli, we live in a dictatorship. We have the commander of the defense forces, Ggaba, who orders the abduction of people. Jetuli.
Nze ndi mwana wa buwala ate Omuganda. Tata waffe yatukuza atugamba tutambulire mu kkubo eggolokofu.
Oh, you have people who assumed power by killing people.
Tutambulire mu mazima.
Okay, enough of that. With Museveni. We are where you don't want us to be. That's why we are. We are already a failed nation. And this was told to me, not that I didn't know, but it became evident to me when I was interviewing former Katikkiro of Buganda, Dan Mulika, who told me, hey, Uganda is a failed state. Oh, these were like so many years, not so many, but like 7 years ago. We are a completely done country. She talked about how they deployed people. Let me show you again the double standards I'm talking about. On handcuffs, no handcuffs. Mwanga Chivumbi did not kill any person. But look at him in the dock with handcuffs on. A man who is accused of killing 4 people, no handcuffs, given a bottle of water to drink. And now, am I saying that, he should be on handcuffs? Absolutely not. All I'm saying is if you put handcuffs on Mwanga Chivumbi, put handcuffs on this man as well. But how about we do not do things to perform? If you deployed 500 security officers, Mwanga Chivumbi is not going to run away. You don't need those handcuffs. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Talking about the performance I was commenting about. Let's go here. Look at this. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Look at them. This is Museveni giving orders. We need to show. And then it gives him an opportunity to send scaring signals into the public. See us. This is the moment Museveni usually wants to show people how he's got guns. Let me show you how many guns I have. That's what they're doing. Let me show you how many people I can deploy if you ever oppose me. That's all for performance. He doesn't really care. I mean, the first action the Ministry of Labor, was it Ministry of Labor, that Badam Balgahari did in the wake of the murdering of those children, he was calling the family of these kids and giving them money. That's all they think. We can maybe buy away your grief. We can buy away your sadness. Let's give you some money. How much do you need? 10 million shillings? You didn't hear any form of rehabilitation. You didn't hear some sort of a government that cares. I would think now, tell me, hey, Mordecai, probably you live in utopia. But I think if a tragedy like that happened to a school, a government that really cares, a ministry that cares about children, they would be trying to find ways of how they can talk to these kids. They would organize something. Let's organize. Let's talk to them. Let's console their souls. Let's show them that, hey, this is what has happened, and this is what the government is going to do. No. Museveni government doesn't have interest in that whatsoever. What comes to their mind is, how much can we give them? I think we should give them 10 or 20, let's say 20 million shillings. And then you have the minister, Baram Balgahara, is going to pocket some of that money, pocket like 5 million. And then another person will pocket like 2 million shillings, another person will pocket 1 million or 3 million. And then by the time it is handed over to these people, each one of them is receiving 10 million shillings. That's nonsense, like utterly nonsensical. There's no amount of money that can replace a child, a person. But that's all they know. I've heard people say that when you meet Museveni, the first thing he asks you is, what do you want? Do you want me to give you a scholarship to go in the elite schools in the US or Europe? Would you like me to build you a house? Or would you like me to appoint you residential district commissioner, or you can become a minister in my government? Look at that. Look at that performance, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. And then you had Christopher Okello. Obviously, I don't want to but look at all these people who are deployed. Look, like I told you, it is a point for Museveni now to show. Hey, see me, I am Sabaranyi. These are the guns I have. Remember when we were headed for the last presidential election, he threatened citizens. He said, I hear you people talk about protesting, which is a constitutional right, but says, you people who are getting ready to protest, I have my soldiers, each soldier has a gun that has 120 bullets. These were words coming from the mouth of the president of a country. He's a complete thug. He's never healed from the Bush War era. He's never healed. He looks at people as his enemies. All he wants is to annihilate them. That's why he would say, if you're talking about protest, I have soldiers who have 120 bullets in each gun. Shut up. So, time to perform. And they know. They know. They enjoy performance. Look at him. They know. They are deployed for that particular thing. Perform. Show. Tough. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't fall for these games. Do not fall for these games. The performance of the Museveni criminal regime. We can call out this symbolism, this facade of a court trial, while we demand for justice to the families that lost their children. I think I saw, I think it is the Ugandan Law Society that called for immediate end of these, they wrote here, protest note, mobile high court session at Gaba Community Church grounds in the matter of Uganda versus Christopher Okello. I think, it says, by order of the Council of Uganda Society, I forward herewith the statement of position by the Uganda Law Society on proposed mobile high court session in Gaba for the trial of Christopher Okello Onyum. For your urgent attention, a copy is enclosed. The society calls for, the Ugandan Society calls for the immediate cancellation of the mobile court session in this matter. The trial must proceed at designated high court premises in Kampala in strict compliance with the Constitution, the Judicial Act, and the established rules of procedure. Given that, they're saying, stop this. They're not saying, hey, stop the process, stop the trial. No, they're saying, don't play this drama. Because everyone can, if you really pay attention, you can see what Museveni is doing. They don't care about those. They don't care. They do not. I mean, after they killed people at Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi's home, they claimed that those were terrorists. And some of them are kids of 15-year-old. Go look at people who were killed in November of 2020 during the protests of, shortly after the arrest of Bobby Wine, the abduction of Bobby Wine. They killed kids. Museveni doesn't care. This is all by performance, and it's sad. Again, it gives us an opportunity, us who think about principled and dignified leadership, to, up our game in as far as fighting the criminal regime, so that we kick it out and establish a better way of leadership. That's it for now. My name is Mordecai Murisa. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I'll truly appreciate. See you. Bye-bye for now.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.